We are noticing recently that many people in the West are increasing their attacks on Prince Reza Pahlavi. Prince Reza Pahlavi is a leader that the Iranian people have chosen for the revolution against the Islamic Republic, the Lion and Sun Revolution, and the leader that they have chosen for the transition period after the Islamic Republic falls. The current attacks on him are increasing, and there are different reasons for that. But the main one right now is that he is the greatest threat against the Islamic Republic, and he is the most powerful force and the loudest voice amplifying the Iranian people both inside and outside of Iran. I noticed that the attacks are having some effects because I'm getting more questions from well-meaning people regarding his qualifications and whether or not he truly represents the Iranian people and if he's actually their voice. When it comes to responding to such questions, I usually go through a list of reasons for why Prince Reza Pahlavi is the answer. But today I want to simplify it and give you the perspective, the main reason why the Iranian people see him as their leader and their only hope, and give you a better understanding for why Iranian people believe in him and why they have chosen him. Before I explain the reason, it's important to mention that at the end of the day, the fact that the Iranian people have chosen him should be good enough, regardless of what that reason is. If we are fighting for Iran's liberation, what that means is to allow the Iranian people to determine their own destiny, to make their own decisions. And it is very clear that they have decided that Prince Reza Pahlavi is their leader. There are some people who want to challenge that by suggesting that Prince Reza Pahlavi's base of support comes from the Iranian diaspora, and it's mostly Iranians outside of Iran who support him, and he doesn't have such support inside Iran. But nothing could be further from the truth. If Iranians outside of Iran demonstrated their love and support and loyalty to him through mass demonstrations, the Iranian people inside Iran bled for him. After Prince Reza Pahlavi's call to action and the response is God, anybody suggesting that there is a greater force than Prince Reza Pahlavi in Iranian politics should never be taken seriously. Not only he is the greater force, nothing could even come close to it. There is no runner-up. There is no second person. It's him and only him that could cause such an uprising. Nobody comes even close to having the same level of popularity and loyalty. Not only that, after the Iranian people came out in the millions in response to his call to action, there was not a single corner of Iran that was not hearing people chanting his voice and asking for the return of Pahlavi to Iran. But not only that, when the regime came out and started shooting into crowds of people, the Iranian people literally put their hands into their own blood and wrote Javid Shah, long live the king, on the wall in the streets of Iran. Not only that, only 40 days after the greatest mass execution in our modern history in Iran, the Iranian people came out again and chanted his name and asked for his return in large numbers, doing exactly what they were being killed for 40 days ago. Show me a leader anywhere else in the world that this many people are willing to sacrifice so much for. It's not just that he doesn't have a competitor in Iran. It's hard to find somebody similar with this level of loyalty and popularity globally. So regardless of what I say regarding why he's the qualified person to be the leader, that shouldn't even matter to you if you believe in liberty. The only thing you need to know is that he is the choice of the Iranian people. And if you respect that, if you respect the Iranian people's fight for freedom, then that ends the discussion. They have chosen Prince Reza Pahlavi. But let me actually give you the reason. Because some people suggest that the reason why he has so much support is his name, Pahlavi, and that he is his father's son. It's not just that. Obviously, that has some influence. But that wouldn't be close to enough for the Iranian people. If he had that, and only that, they wouldn't pick him as their leader. The reason why Prince Reza Pahlavi is the chosen leader of the Iranian people is because what he says and what he believes and what he has been fighting for the past 47 years is a perfect reflection of what the Iranian people want and what the Iranian people are fighting for. The Iranian people, through years of struggle and years of trial and error and years of eventually coming to an understanding that the Islamic Republic is not reformable and eventually coming up with the level of political awareness regarding what are the values and methods that makes a society prosper, eventually got to a point where more of them rediscovered Prince Reza Pahlavi and realize that he has been fighting for everything that many of them eventually started fighting for after many years. They realize that Prince Reza Pahlavi has been doing that since the very beginning. It's interesting because I admire the Iranian people's level of awareness and maturity, and the values that they fight for is, in my understanding, the exact values that makes a society prosper. And I admire them for eventually getting to the position where they understand this on average better than people of other societies, and they understand it now because of their experience and because they don't have it, and because they now realize through understanding their history that they used to have it. So I admire them for that. But we also have to acknowledge that Prince Reza Pahlavi had this understanding years before the Iranian people got here. It's a combination of the Iranian people becoming more mature and the Iranian people, especially the younger generation, rediscovering what Iran had before the Islamic Republic and realizing why they had that. And also watching Prince Reza Pahlavi's speeches and reading his books and realizing that he has been advocating for this and fighting for this all of this time, even before the Iranian people got to the point where they are now. So to make it clear, many Iranian people who eventually got to this position that they are anti-reform and for regime change and they believe in all the right values, now when they watch Prince Reza Pahlavi's videos from 20, 30 years ago, they're shocked because these videos were always there, these speeches were always there, but so many Iranians discovered it only recently, only in the past 5 years or even 1 or 2 years. And when they watch these videos, they're so shocked to find that Prince Reza Pahlavi in these videos, he looks so young. He looks like a teenager. And yet what he's saying is so relevant now. And they wonder as if he already had the foresight, he already had the understanding that we only recently achieved. And everything he says in those speeches are true today, but he figured it out way before us. And the interesting thing in all of these speeches, it makes it obvious that he has been so consistent in what he's fighting for. He's not fighting for monarchy. He is not fighting for power. He's not fighting for himself. If you look at everything he has been doing, he's always consistently been fighting for the Iranian people being able to make their own decisions, for their right to choose their own destiny, for sovereignty to come back to the people, for the Iranian people to be able to decide the structure of the government and their politicians and their representatives and their laws. Everything he has been doing for all of this time is to bring the power back to the people. And it's interesting that all of this was there. Sometimes we get frustrated with Western media and Western journalists for asking dumb questions, not knowing that all of these exist and they could actually just go look at it and see what this man stands for. But to be fair, we should also be frustrated with ourselves as Iranian people because we only discovered all of this recently. I mean, there were people who have been following and supporting him for years, but his level of support only recently reached high numbers because of the internet and social media and more people spending more time in bringing all of this back and reintroducing the Iranian people, not just to Prince Reza Pahlavi's record, but also the record of his father and his grandfather. And the love for Prince Reza Pahlavi and the entire Pahlavi family is now higher among a young generation who never even experienced Pahlavi rule. It's interesting because the term Javid Shah, meaning long live the king, is now being said more inside Iran than when Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was ruling Iran. The love for Pahlavi in Iran is now higher compared to when we had Pahlavi. Because the younger generation, through documentaries and books and historical records, have caused an entire nation fall in love with a king who was betrayed by their fathers and their mothers. And many of the younger generation, discovering what Iran used to be like and why Iran used to be like that, they shamed their parents. They shamed the previous generation. Some of them even cursed them. And it's interesting because many people from that generation accept that they made a mistake. One of the most famous chants inside Iran is that ما اشتباه کردیم که انقلاب کردیم, which means we made a mistake. The revolution was a mistake. We shouldn't have done the 1979 revolution. But going back to the reason, Prince Reza Pahlavi is the voice of the Iranian people. And he believes, just like his father did, that if he ever has any power, it comes from the people. So if the people give him that power, he has the power. And if the people don't give him that power, then he doesn't have it. He doesn't see himself as a source of power. He only sees himself as a tool to reflect the power and the voice of the Iranian people. And he takes that very seriously because he doesn't want to bring attention to himself other than for bringing attention to the Iranian people. His father used to say, "Nashi az qudrat shumast," which basically telling the people that my power comes from you. And he basically believes that as well. And the reason why the Iranian people consider him to be the best reflection of them, the best amplifier of their voices, because everything he stands for, the values that he stands for, including secularism, including democracy, including the border integrity of Iran, including equal individual rights among all Iranians. This is what the Iranian people want, and they say nobody better than him. And this is what Prince Reza Pahlavi has been fighting for even before he got to this level of support that he has right now. And his record and everything he has done and everything that he stands for has convinced the Iranian people that there's nobody else better than him to represent them. One thing that makes it even more clear that Prince Reza Pahlavi is doing this for the love of his country and the love he has for the Iranian people is that during the Iran-Iraq War, Prince Reza Pahlavi offered the Islamic Republic for him to come back to Iran as a fighter jet pilot, because Prince Reza Pahlavi is also a fighter jet pilot. He offered to come back to Iran, and because Saddam was attacking Iran, not just the Islamic Republic, Prince Reza Pahlavi wanted to come back and volunteer his services as a fighter jet pilot to fight back against Saddam's army. He wanted to come back, and they didn't accept that because that would have been a PR nightmare for the Islamic Republic. That's not just risking your own life because you could die in war, but also if you came back, then maybe the Islamic Republic would have just captured you and executed you. But he really wanted to come back, and that shows the level of dedication and the level of sacrifice he's willing to make to defend Iran. Another thing a lot of people need to remember is that Prince Reza Pahlavi has experienced many, not most, but many Iranian people rise up against his father and basically push him and his family out of Iran. And everything that family had to go through after that caused his brother and his sister to commit suicide. So given the treatment that he received, given what his father went through, given losing a brother and sister, for being in politics, for being in power, you would assume that a person like that will go and just live his life comfortably for the rest of his life rather than putting his now beautiful family into risk again, his daughters, his wife. The risk that comes with going back into the fight is not just to him personally, it's also to his family. And if people think that he's just self-interested, you would think the best thing he could do for himself is to just stay out of all of this and just go and live his life in peace. But the problem he has is that he just loves his country so much, and he loves the Iranian people so much. And it doesn't matter how many Iranians pushed him and his family away. When the Iranian people are now asking for him back, and the Iranian people are begging him to forgive them for their mistake, he will forgive them. Because that's what a father would do. And that's what he is to us. He's a father to us. And we can see that he loves us, and we can see that he forgives us. And we value that. Not only do we value that, many Iranians are ready to die for that. I hope this gives you an understanding for why there's so much passion and so much love for this man, and why the Iranian people have made the wise choice in choosing him as their leader. If you want to talk to me about this and other topics, there's a link below and in the bio to our discussion group. I'm there almost every day. You could come and talk to me and the rest of our group there and ask me any questions you might have. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful, if you learned anything, if this was interesting. Those types of comments really motivate me to make more videos. My name is Armin Navabi. I'm Israel Chai. Long live America. Javid Shah. Payende Iran.